Good morning, everyone. How are we this morning? Today's Tuesday, and we are, I can never tell exactly what you guys can see. Okay, let me just adjust you down. Just a little bit like that. Okay. Good morning. So, so it's Tuesday, and it is, I'm not sure exactly, but I think it's 2 days till Christmas Eve, so that would make it December 22nd, I do believe. So, what we're going to do here is we're going to do a couple little desserty things, and work with this tofu dessert. I'm not normally too much of a fan of tofu, but I have been paying attention to Dr. Greger's advice on it. And actually this is a little bit liquidy, so I'm gonna put this in here just because it's starting to leak. And good morning, Jane. So for our Facebook Live, we like to have lots of fun and experiment with different things. So I am going to work with this tofu. This is the dessert tofu. So you can get these things in, it's always so much fun. I think you guys just love watching me try and open packages all the time because it's always so entertaining. Okay, so the tofu is a little bit wet, and that's okay. We don't mind if the tofu is a little bit wet here. I'm going to take it out of the dish now because I think I have most of the water off of it. And we're going to put it in the, Christmas. It's Christmas, so we need to dress up this week. That was my thing for yesterday. It was Monday, and I thought, since we can't all go anywhere or do anything, we might as well get dressed up and enjoy the week, so kind of brings on the Christmas spirit. And luckily, thankfully, everybody has Zoom, which is awesome, so that you can get together with friends and family through Zoom or Facebook. There are Facebook rooms, and then of course Snapchat and things like that I don't know much about. But yeah, so luckily we have cameras. What's that other? Oh, FaceTime, all those kinds of things. But so you might as well get dressed up while you're at home because otherwise it's not very Christmassy. So we are, and this is a very antique, or I should say vintage top that used to belong to my aunt. So it's kind of nice to be able to have some things from relatives that you care about. And even though they're past, it's a good memory to be able to, think about them, especially at times like the holiday season. So what we're going to do here is we're going to put the tofu in here. So you can use any kind you want. I happen to have this almond one, and I don't know why, because I don't buy these very often, and I'm sure that they come in different flavors, but almonds, pretty decent flavor. I love almond everything, so we're going to go for this. So what we're going to do here, I haven't told you what we're going to do, and I always take way too long to do that because I don't know why, but I do. Okay, let's see how much of a mess I can make here. We're going to make like a Mexican dessert. And so, so that's what we're going to attempt. And the Facebook Live is all about having fun, experimenting with healthy foods, and whoops, getting a little too much of that tofu water in there. And just kind of hanging out and enjoying the morning and having fun with healthy foods. So like I said, I'm not that much of a fan of tofu, but I do follow a lot of Dr. Greger's work, Michael Greger, Greger, I believe, and his whole thing is nutritionfacts.org, and that's it's completely oh gosh, what do you call it, nonprofit. And so what he does is he posts a lot of research on all of the different foods and all the different supplements and that kind of thing, and based on the research that's been done with the people that have actually done it. So it's like independent, it's not funded by any company or anything. And I'm really liking what he does, because he it's unbiased. It's all strictly by the numbers of whatever the research was. And so the tofu, as long as it's organic, non-GMO, does have benefits. And so anyway, we're working with that. And so you're going to just stick your package of tofu, whatever it is. If it really should, for this particular recipe, it really should be like a soft, so that it blends up like a pudding more. So any kind of soft tofu. We're going to make this into a Mexican festive. So we're going to add cocoa here. I'm going to add a teeping teaspoon of cocoa. Oh my God, I'm not dyslexic. Really, I'm not. No, I may be, because especially with numbers. Okay, so a heaping tablespoon of cocoa. Do we think that's enough? I don't know. You can never have too much cocoa. Let's go for a heaping tablespoon and half a heaping tablespoon of cocoa. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to kind of mix this. This is our festive, fun, Christmassy week of festive recipes. And so with the Mexican, we're going to add, of course, some spice, right? We're going to add, hey, Jewel, hi, good morning. So nice to see you. So we're going to add a little bit of cayenne, because I do love to add cayenne to all kinds of things, most things. And we're getting to the bottom of the thing here, so I don't want to pour out too much. But the cayenne is so important for the circulation. It's an upward herb. It comes up in the body, brings in the circulation, opens up the blood vessels, helps with getting circulation of blood to the extremities, so like for skin issues or cold hands and feet. It's really good for headaches and migraines and that kind of thing. So the cayenne is so super awesome for helping your circulation through the overall body. And so it's really, really important for just getting those blood vessels opened up. It helps with high blood pressure, helps with cholesterol. Of course, if you're on any high blood pressure medication, you don't want to be doing cayenne in a medicinal dose. Like, you don't want to be taking it in capsules or anything like that. If you just have a little bit in your meals, then it's fine. But if you are on high blood pressure medication, the cayenne will help to lower your blood pressure, because it opens up those blood vessels to the extremities. And when it does that, it creates basically more pathways through the capillaries. And so that actually lowers the pressure, through your blood. And so anyway, basically, there's a whole other thing on that. I'm not going to go too far into it. But you don't want to be taking cayenne capsules or in any kind of concentrated form if you're on high blood pressure medication or heart medication. So, anyway, cayenne overall is really, really good for you. Anything that gets that blood circulating and things moving is super good, like, movement, exercise, all kinds of things like that. So we have a little bit of cayenne. We have some pure organic cocoa, which also is an antioxidant. It's really good for you, as well as being crazy yummy. We're going to turn this into oh yes, we need a little bit of, I am going to add a little bit of vanilla. Sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. In this case, I'm just going to add a couple drops of the vanilla. And of course, we're going to need a sweetener for that, because the cocoa is pure cocoa, so it's going to be bitter. And that tofu, it's an almond tofu, but it's not really sweet. So we're going to add, I don't know, probably that much. I'm going to guess. I'm so terrible for measuring. This Facebook Live is more of like just a fun get together and playing with, experimenting with healthy foods. So I'm going to guess that's 1/8 of a cup of the maple syrup. And so what we want to do, because we are having a festive festive Christmassy week, we're going to add some cayenne. And if you really wanted to make this Mexican, oh sorry, not cayenne, cinnamon. And cinnamon's really, really good for, it's antiviral, very antiviral. It's good for the circulation too, but it's antiviral, and they've been using cinnamon a lot in the studies with the viruses that are going on right now. Like if you look at some of the research that's being done in different places in the world, like Asia, they've been using the cinnamon to, like in the cinnamon sticks, quite concentrated, as a tea and as a treatment, because it has huge antiviral properties. And when you're working with the cinnamon too, you want to ideally you want to go with the Ceylon cinnamon, because the cassia cinnamon, which is the most common one, is the cassia one. It's, of course, it's cheaper, but it has blood thinning properties. I'm not going to go into it too much, but it may not. If you were to do a lot of cassia cinnamon, it might be detrimental. Even though it's antiviral, you know, it's got blood thinning properties. I'm not going to go into it too much. But if you're going to use it medicinally as a tea and for an antiviral and for as a treatment or a medicine, natural medicine, I would go with the Ceylon. So yeah, just so that you guys know the difference between the cinnamons. Okay, so if you really want to bump this up a notch and have this for an after dinner drink, after dinner dessert, yeah, might as well be a drink. Because this is a Mexican, what we're doing is we're doing a tofu Mexican pudding. If you wanted to go all the way with the cinnamon and the cayenne, and if you wanted to add a little bit of cumin, you could. Not everybody that lives here likes cumin that much. I happen to love cumin, so I might add a little shaker of cumin over top mine. But if you want to go all the way Mexican, you can actually even add some tequila. And so we're just going to add a little bit. We're going to do like a little, just a tiny bit for flavor, you know, so that it's more Mexican and festive. So kind of a little surprise if you were. I know we're not having any company over or getting together with anybody, but if you have a big family that is in your household that you're getting together with, this is kind of a fun thing, you know, to just have a little healthy tofu pudding dessert that's dairy-free, all plant-based, and yet kind of like a little after-dinner treat, right? So help you digest. So tequila will help you digest. Any of those, I think that's why in the old days the men would retire into the library to drink brandy and smoke cigars. But I think the reason that they went and drank brandy or whatever it was they were drinking after dinner was to help you digest, because it does really, I don't know, it depends on the alcohol too, but like a straight up one tends to help relieve that feeling of bloatedness. But I didn't bring it here, but there is a really nice digestive called Jägermeister, or I think maybe the pronunciation is Jägermeister. And it's got like 20 herbs in it and in the alcohol, and it's almost like a tincture or cordial, like a medicinal. It's really, really nice for digestion. Okay, we're just going to spin this out. Might give it a little shake. See the cocoa. Okay, I think it grabbed all the cocoa there. So yeah, and the reason I have these little things on here is because I have two different little mini blenders. That one's a Miracle blender, and I have my what do you call it, Magic Bullet, and I get easily confused with the different carafes, so I have them identified as to which lids go with which bottoms and which blenders. So yes, easily confused, that's me these days. Okay, so gonna have a little sip of water. Usually I'm drinking my my tea, but for some reason I've got a little tickle here. Wonder if chocolate would help with that. Okay, so I'm going to put this in, and then what we're going to do is we can freeze these. If you want it to be like a mousse, you can freeze them. Or let's use some different glasses here just to be more festive. Or you can just put it in the fridge to firm up. Okay, so let's do 3 different kinds. Do I have enough here? I think I might have enough. Look at that. Just perfect. Okay, so yeah, if you put these in the freezer to freeze them for a little bit, they will firm right up and be just lovely, like a mousse kind of thing. Otherwise, what you can do too, and I think that I don't know. That's a really good question. That's what I love about this Facebook Live too, is the we always have questions of if there's tequila in it, will it freeze? I don't know. I don't know everything. I am a certified herbalist and natural health consultant, and that's what I'm certified to do. And I love to play with food and healthy food and experiment with different recipes and everything. I am so not a professional cook at all. As you know, if you watch the Facebook Lives, I'm so not professional. Although I have to say I do have a couple hundred videos of healthy 15-minute meals on my YouTube channel that are really good and, you know, much more structured. But yeah, I don't know. Let's see. We'll see. If not, we'll be drinking it as a smoothie after dinner. It'll be an after dinner smoothie. So, I don't know. Maybe we can have somebody look that up and see if that will freeze, or I will let you know. Okay, so for the next thing, if I don't spill everything everywhere, we're going to do another little festive. Maybe I'll just set this here for now. I don't throw things all over the place. We're going to do another little festive thing. So last week we did something with nuts. I don't remember what it was. We do a recipe almost every day, Monday to Friday, and so I don't remember. Oh, good. All right, we've got some instruction here. That's awesome. So, yeah, that's the nice thing about the Facebook Live. Everybody comments and joins in and answers questions so that we can all learn from each other, because it's just that much more fun and interactive if we can share information and ideas. And, you know, I just love experimenting with healthy foods and making things really fun. And so, I just go for it I seldom read instructions first. So anyway, back to the recipe. This is the second one. What we're going to do is, I'm not sure if we're going to use these almonds. I was thinking I would use extra almonds, but this might be enough. So we made a nut something or other last week on Facebook that was super, super yummy. Oh, baklava. It was my take on the baklava. So I had some extra nuts already ground, and I'm going to dump these in. So this is a combination of almonds and walnuts, and you could use whatever you want, any kind of nuts that you want. If you wanted to with this, if you had it, I don't have it, but if you had like an almond powder, that would be really good too. I mean, like an almond flour is what I'm trying to say. That would be really good too. What we're going to do, we'll just work with this. We might use the almonds, but we might not. And that's what we love about, I just wing it. I come up with an idea, you know, or I see something on the internet, and I'm like, oh, that looks really good. I'm going to do it like this because I always like changing things around. So I'm just going to go with this for now. And often on this Facebook Live, we change our minds halfway through and change the recipe or whatever, you know, make it into something else. So this is almonds and walnuts, and I'm going to add some maple syrup to it as well, and probably same thing. I'd say 1/8 of a cup, but I'm going to add cocoa, so I'm going to add more because the cocoa is a pure organic cocoa, and so it's bitter, right? You know, your pure organic cocoa is always going to be bitter. So we're going to add, right. Sometimes I distract myself and, oh my gosh, throwing beautiful cocoa everywhere. So I'm going to do 2 heaping tablespoons because I do want this to be super cocoa rich. And so we're going to blend this together, and you could add a couple different things to it if you wanted to. You could add a little bit of almond milk to this if you want. I kind of don't really want it creamy. I want it like that really decadent, rich, you know, just pure cocoa kind of flavor. What we're doing is we're making a brandy ball, or some brandy balls, just a few. I'm going to add just a tiny bit of vanilla again. It's a really similar recipe. We're just on this week. We're kind of on a little Christmas treat kick here. And so, yeah, so we've got the maple syrup, we've got the nuts, we've got the cocoa. So I think what we'll do is, or you could do brandy balls or rum balls, and actually that's a good idea because I just have this little tiny bit of rum left, and I don't know if that's too much or not. We might be adding more nuts or more nut flour. Yeah, I probably won't put that whole thing in there. That would be quite strong. So I'm gonna shoot for 1 ounce, and I think that'll probably make I don't know, I'm gonna guess like 10 balls or something like that. Let's see. We'll see. We'll find out in the very end. Oops. It's looking good. So since we love to experiment, maybe I shouldn't take that off. I won't get it back on. This is quite, I'll show you. It's quite watery with the, you know, with the balls. So a couple things, you could refrigerate this and get it to thicken up, or you can add something to it. A lot of people use nut butters and things like that to thicken it, and I'm just trying to think in, oh, I have a good idea. Why don't we add some of the beautiful supplements that we use and we put in the food all the time? So if you're going to be bad, you want to try and make it to have the least negative effects. So to this beautiful, lovely, organic brandy ball mixture, or sorry, rum ball mixture, I've got brandy on the brain, let's add some astragalus, so that way it's like energizing as well. And so the astragalus is really good for the immune system, anti-aging, it's an antioxidant, and so that is going to reverse the effects of the negative, anything negative that's in there, which really isn't that negative. It's all very medicinal. The other thing I would want to add is maca. Maca is really, really good too. It's good for your brain function, it's good for your memory, it's good for hormones, and it's antioxidant, anti-inflammatory. The maca is an anti-inflammatory too. So we'll add those two, and I think what we'll do to kind of bulk this up a bit more is add some coconut. That would be really, really good. So these are going to be just things to bulk it up. Like I said, if you had an almond flour, that would be ideal, I'm sure. I don't, so I'm just going to work with what I have here. La 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 la. I'm not going to add ginger. Yeah, I don't really see anything else that I can add without running around the kitchen and trying to find other things. Where is it? Oh, there it is. You have to push it over. I'm getting distracted by the comments. I'm looking. So nice to have everybody here. Okay, so that is looking much better. Okay, so what we'll do is take this off the little thing here. My goodness, I made a mess. I'm going to be cleaning all this stuff up. As always, cooking tends to be a little messy sometimes, all the time. Okay, so I'm going to just get these guys together here. And I'll put it in a bowl so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so whatever it is that you have and that you want to do, like I say, you could use a nut butter, like an almond butter. You could use an almond flour. I don't know why I'm saying almonds. You could use a hazelnut flour. You can use pretty much whatever you want for thickening this up. And you could use extra cocoa if you wanted to, but we're just gonna... What I plan on doing with this too, just to firm it up and to, you know, kind of get it, you could do a couple different things, but I really want it to be raw. After I put them in the little balls, I'm going to put them in the dehydrator. Just for, I mean, it depends on your dehydrator, but because mine's super fast, so I'm only going to put it in for about an hour just to dry it up and firm them a bit. So you could do that if you want. I happen to have a Excalibur. Oh my gosh. Oh, my brain is just, I have so many things. I'm right in the middle of making a bunch of the pain relieving salve and creams, and so I'm getting distracted by everything else that I have planned for the day. So you can roll these into whatever you want. You can freeze them if you want to freeze them. That would be good too. And yeah, that would work. You know, that just for the firmness, that would work as well as the dehydrating. I just wanted to get them a little bit chewier and a little bit more raw. The other thing you could do is you could roll these in more coconut. You could roll them in a cocoa powder too. Get the cocoa powder on top. That might be an idea as well. So, and like you say, like Jewel is saying, I love the comments, that with the rum in there, it may not freeze well. So it should dehydrate okay. Although I've never done that before. And we love to experiment. Okay, so this is just festive. I mean, if you want, you could just put these right in the, you could just eat them in a dessert dish too. Very nice. So the protein also slows down the absorption of blood sugar. Or, I mean, it slows down the absorption of the sugar into the blood, so it slows down that spiking, you know, of the sweetness, right? When you eat sugar, it obviously gets the pancreas, send the insulin, and creates the blood sugar fluctuation. So the nuts do burn like wood, right? They slow down. Anything protein is going to burn slowly, releasing the sugar more slowly into the blood, so it's more even. You know, you don't get those highs and lows from the blood sugar when you're having something with protein and like nuts. Whereas if you have something that burns like paper, which would be pasta, pastries, anything that isn't like a protein that burns slowly, is going to burn like paper, so it's going to spike your blood sugar, right? So anything like even crackers, pastry, salads, fruits, those kinds of things can do it, but they do it in a more natural way, the natural foods, real foods. But things like pasta, pastries, crackers, bread, all that kind of thing can spike your blood sugar more. And obviously anything with sugar, like, you know, chocolate, candy, sweets, and all the things we're making today. So to add a little bit of protein to it does really help to slow down that absorption and that spiking of the sugar. And so you have your nuts to do that, to kind of balance that sugar spike. And in the case of the pudding, we have the tofu, which is also a protein, so that would slow down the blood sugar spiking too. Just some little information and hints. I do have PowerPoints and more information on blood sugar and how it works, and foods to balance your blood sugar and all that kind of thing if anybody's interested. And wax paper would really help with the rolling. It would help with the rolling, wouldn't it? Good idea. There's so many great ideas. Okay, thanks you guys. Have a really good day. Hope everybody's having fun getting ready for Christmas, and and we'll see you tomorrow morning at 11. And I look forward to your comments and suggestions, and more of the whatever it is that you want me to experiment and try. So check out my Instagram, my YouTube channel, and subscribe and share, and have a really, really wonderful day, and we'll see you tomorrow morning.